Welcome back to the Wanderlust Chronicles. Wanderlust Saga, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. And this is Kieran, and we are going to jump into this hole. If I can speak today would be helpful. Oh yeah, there's this first. So... there's actually something I want to do before we do this. Yep. So we have completed almost every world. I can't get out from here. That's unfortunate. There's actually a world that we need to complete before we do that. It's very important that we do this in proper order. Actually, I don't think it really affects anything in the end. But, let's see if it affects anything. I don't know. I have no clue. There's only one world we haven't beaten. They're dropping 100 EXP of keys? Wow, dang. In the chest. Spirit gem. I think this is all synthesis materials. It used to be duplicates of the equipment you got. Oh, dang. I always forget, technically you can blast back like fireballs and stuff, but it's so finicky to knock it back just at the right time. That's a thunder gem. That's useful. Mind you, you can't like keep coming back here to get more fire gems. So, these are purple if you've completed the world. Which we've completed almost every world. Which you gotta get. There's just, I think, only one world we haven't completed because we've finished this. Oh, hey, look. We get to see something that we haven't actually seen yet. Which is... wonder if it'll let us interact with it. I doubt it will, but who knows. Kind of fun if it did. No, it won't. But that's the new cup that we get. The Hades Cup. It's 50 enemies. 50, not enemy, but 50 rounds. Thankfully, you can, like, if you lose, you can restart at the nearest round 10 that you've completed. But that's going to be a lot of experience that we can use going forward. This is kind of a neat, like, revisit every world. If I hadn't just been to, like, every world, This is probably going to be a bright gem. Ooh, power shard. Okay, cool. I think this is going to be a bright gem. Yep. Because it's related to the gems related to the spells that we got in these worlds. I don't know what's going to happen after this point. Because Agrabah, we didn't really get a new spell. At least I don't think we did. We upgraded Fire and Blizzard, I believe, both. I wonder which one it'll give, what it'll give us. I do kind of like for this they use the opened up version of the city. It would make sense to give it a blaze gem. Did they give us the blaze gem? No, they gave us spirit gem. So yeah, they might give us the blaze gem for this. Okay, where's is it up here? Mayhaps. Ah. Blaze gem. I think we cleared out everything. I don't think you can get down to this side alley. Nope. There's nothing over here, right? This is closed up. Yep. Can't get into Aladdin's house or anything. I think this door just doesn't, like, none of the doors work. Everything else is boarded up. I'm not sure if you actually have to do this. I've always done it. He's gonna explode into his little minions. Oh, cool. Saga ring. AP up. Okay, so they're just now giving me AP ups because can't figure out anything else. Yeah, it used to be a duplicate of whatever equipment that you got for that world. The equipment that you get from the boss. But by the end of the game, those equipments really didn't mean anything. People didn't really use them. I still like this fight Oogie Boogie's fight's fun. It's fun because it's not, like... Unlike Ursula's fight, which gets difficult because of the way attacks happen, what makes this hard, or I guess better yet, not to say hard, but not easy to beat, is the fact that it kind of limits how much damage you can do at a time. And then kind of forces you to survive until you can do your next round of damage. Against the Oogie Boogie Man. And this should be Never Never Land. Oh, and because it's not actually Neverland, you can't actually fly here. I do also like how this world works with the way that it keeps. So, if I remember correctly, it's up here, isn't it? Or is it actually in here? Nope. Where is the chest? Oh, it's over there. Yep. There's not a lot in here, though. Mighty Shield. So Goofy's got his defender. The Mighty Shield. Again, these say most powerful, but by most powerful they mean they deal the most damage. I actually would, for the 2 strength that it gives Goofy, I would rather him, instead of having that 2 strength, I'd rather him just deal a little less damage and be able to give me and Donald more MP. Okay. This is the last one. I am actually going to save here. World Terminus. But it's the world that we haven't finished yet. The one world that we have yet to do. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. We've started it, but we haven't finished it yet. I don't think it matters, though, as long as we finish it before the end of the game. And this takes us to Hollow Bastion. To a part of Hollow Bastion that we haven't been to yet, which is important. I don't remember if this portion was in the original game. I can't remember, to be quite honest, and I think it wasn't. I think this was added. Ones born of the heart in darkness, devoid of hearts, ravage all worlds and bring desolation. Seize all hearts and consummate the great heart, all hearts to be one, one heart to encompass all. Realize the destiny, the realm of Kingdom Hearts, the great darkness sealed within the great heart. Progeny of darkness, come back to the eternal darkness. For the heart of light shall unseal the path. 7 hearts, 1 keyblade, 1 key to the door. The door of darkness tied by 2 keys. The door of darkness to seal the light. None shall pass but shadows returning to the dark. Ones born of the heart and darkness hunger for every heart until the dark door open. So this is little bits of actual game lore, but it's kind of explaining Kingdom Hearts, which is probably something that we should kind of do here, because this has been a big long game. A lot's happened. We started on Destiny Island with Riku, Kairi, and Sora, trying to build a raft to take them to another world, which was a bad idea. This is a terrible idea. Children, do not think that you can take a raft if you live on an island or near the sea, and that will take you to another island or even another world. Unless you can see the island and don't use a raft, use a boat. And they had boats. I'm not sure why they used a raft. There's a lot questionable there. So, that's where we started. And once we finish this, because I'm gonna have to concentrate on this, we'll kind of discuss how far we've come. Chernabog. He's kind of like Maleficent. I mean, not like Ursula's form in some ways, except for he doesn't have a stupid homing ability that constantly is targeting you. And we're just ravaging through his health. Like, his biggest thing is the fact that okay, 1 second. I don't even know what he's doing right now. I like Chernabog. He's just a fun design. Super Glide. Which is something, if you've never had the occasion to watch Fantasia is so good. At least I find it good. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. But it's an arty art piece. There's no denying that. But if, like, a lot of people probably know vaguely what Fantasia is, you know, it's what gave us Sorcerer's Apprentice and Chernabog and so many other, there's a lot of iconic imagery that comes from it, but it's also got, it basically was a film. Okay, this is me now. I've never heavily paid attention to this background. This, if I'm correct, looking at it, at least portions of it. So this looks very Sleeping Beauty. This actually looks like portions of Fantasia also. Like, I'm not sure, this could be either Sleeping Beauty or Fantasia. Because there is portions of Fantasia that looks like this. But Fantasia was a movie that was made that Disney did, given a whole bunch of different sound scores. They looked to animate to the music they were given. And sometimes they had a cohesive piece of like story that they were telling, like in Sorcerer's Apprentice or with The Night on Bald Mountain. Other times it was more just kind of like abstract art that went to the beat of the music. And it's a beautiful piece. And unfortunately does not get a lot of love, I think, these days. And it didn't do well. Like, it was a commercial flop. Same with Fantasia 2000. But they are both movies meant to just show how animation is an art form. And that's really cool. Anyways, I was talking about how we were going to talk about how far we've come. So, ooh, this is Sleeping Beauty. Because there's the trees. The trees from Sleeping Beauty. Because these are supposed to be the worlds that have been taken. I can't tell what this is supposed to be. Because we're slowly losing out on what this is exactly. But we have Sora, Riku, and Kairi on the island. And they all three are looking to get off the island and see new worlds. And so they start building a raft to do so. With this, Riku gets ever more desirable to leave by any means possible. And we meet a strange figure. Okay, I'm gonna have to get up Donald in a second. The strange cloaked figure tells us how we know nothing, and those who know nothing can understand nothing. This strange figure eventually we learn is Ansem. We learned that in Hollow Bastion. But at this point, it means nothing to us. And we eventually come to our island being covered in Heartless one evening during a storm. And we look for our friends, Riku and Kairi. And we find Riku on a pier. And while there, Riku says that he's not afraid of the darkness and is consumed by darkness. And in that moment, trying to reach out for our friend, we gain the Keyblade, a mysterious weapon capable of hurting these Heartless, which at the time we weren't aware of what they were, but we battle them and look for Kairi, who we think we find in the secret place, this little cavern that the kids have called their home. But she seems kind of almost zombie-like, and then as this door that has been in this secret place for as long as we can remember, but it's unopenable, opens and sends out these waves of darkness. Kairi comes smashing towards us, and we end up trying to catch her, but she passes right through us like a ghost. From there, we get pushed out by this wave of darkness until we end up landing on what's left of our islands, where we're faced with Darkseid. Which isn't the first time we met Darkseid. We had a very weird intro cinematic, not cinematic, intro tutorial, where we meet Darkseid, but it was a dream as far as we knew. Where this is very much real. And after our fight with Darkseid, we land in Traverse Town, where we meet Sid, who isn't sure if we're really in another world, but we're definitely not on our islands. In the meantime, Goofy and Donald, while we were on our island, found that King Mickey, King of Disney Castle, has gone missing. And in order to find him, have gone out searching for the bearer of the key. And they find themselves also in Traverse Town at the same time, and we go through a lot of near misses with them as we search through the town trying to find any trace of Riku or Kairi. Eventually we head back to Sid, a little down on our luck, and we're told to, well, see if we can try a little more and maybe we can find our friends. At which, when we leave the accessory shop, we run into Leon. And while we are embattled with Leon, we fight, we kind of sort of win. We end up passing out from exhaustion. And Leon gets the Keyblade away from us and takes us to a safe place, and him and Yuffie both explain what's going on, that the Heartless are trying to devour worlds, and our Keyblade is the only way to save worlds and to fight the Heartless. And so, I'm not moving on to the next area because I don't want to break up this story. And so, with that, we are told that we're going to meet some other people after that and get ready for our journey, which we're about to do when some Heartless invade, and we end up on the run trying to find the leader of the Heartless in Traverse Town. And eventually make our way to the 3rd District, where we meet up with Goofy and Donald, who recognize that we wield the Keyblade and are the person they've been searching for, the person their king told them to find. And we face guard armor, win, and decide to make a pact that Sora, that will help find their king if they help us find our friends. And from there, we visit various Disney worlds, have a little bit of character growth and relationship building, as the 2 goals of the groups are brought into focus, and really it's Deep Jungle is the only place where we had some nice party conflict. But then after that, we learn about, especially in Wonderland and in Deep Jungle, we learn about the keyholes. These mysterious things in every world that the Keyblade is made to seal away so that Heartless can't get to the heart of the world. And actually what I'm going to do is we're going to pause for a second, go here. I'm going to come back to this in a minute, and we're actually going to chest. jump out here. And we're gonna, because this should spawn enemies. And talk while I'm fighting enemies. But, so we go to, back to Traverse Town and find out that some of the gummies that we've found are navigation gummies, which will allow us to go to new worlds. And keyholes are explained, and we're told that technically there should be a keyhole in Traverse Town as well. So where is it? And through some minor bit of work, we end up coming into contact with the keyhole of Traverse Town and opposite armor. A more powerful version of guard armor. So then from there, we also have run into some small issues with missing people. The first one that we lost was Alice. And in the background, Maleficent and her horde of cronies have been gathering them. They've been gathering many people up to this point. Alice is not the first, nor will she be the last that they're looking for. But, in the meantime, we end up moving on to Agrippa, where we meet Jasmine, another one of these princesses. And we have our first run-in with one of Maleficent's crew, Jafar. And we face off against Jafar, but in the turmoil, Jasmine disappears. And we end up going and looking for her as well. And we end up getting caught in the mix in Monstro, where we actually meet Riku again. Where he's talking about looking for someone who's lost their heart, alluding that it might be Kairi. And he's looking to see if Pinocchio, having gained a heart, can help find out the mystery of how to retrieve Kairi's heart. We end up confronting Riku, and he ends up slipping away. And then we move on. We help more people. We run into some more of Maleficent's villain crew, one of which is Oogie Boogie and Ursula. And then we make our way to a new world and end up getting commandeered by a pirate ship on our way to Neverland. The Jolly Roger takes us, and we end up being captives of Riku and Captain Hook. Riku, who has found Kairi, but something's wrong. He seems listless. So we end up trying to make our way to her, and we meet Peter Pan, who's also looking for Wendy, which in some of the bits of conversation we hear, we find out Wendy is not one of the chosen princesses that they're looking for. Which upsets Hook, but not that much. He ends up trying to capture us while Riku leaves the ship entirely. So, from here, we end up making our way to Hollow Bastion, where Riku ends up taking away our Keyblade, and Goofy and Donald, following their directives from the king, follow the Keyblade bearer, who is now Riku. Riku says that we were only an errand boy, to have it for just a little while. And we make our way to catch up with all our friends and try and save Kairi no matter what. So we end up chasing them down with the help of Beast, and end up making our way to where Riku is, and decently giving a good speech about how we'll keep fighting no matter what. And when Riku tries to take out Sora, Goofy gets in the way, because Goofy's not going to betray a friend. Donald, as well, decides to forsake his mission to protect a friend, because they both know that it's not what their king would have wanted. And in that moment, Sora, boosted with the power of his friends, reclaims the Keyblade from Riku. A battle ensues, and Riku, beaten, moves further back into Hollow Bastion, where he's approached by the cloaked figure of Ansem, who tells him if he wants to be stronger to accept the darkness and let it consume him. Meanwhile, Maleficent gets in our way as we're making our way to find Riku. And we end up defeating her and making her retreat into another part of the castle, where when we pursue her there, Riku, or someone who's currently wearing the guise of Riku, uses a new Keyblade to unlock her heart to darkness, and allows the darkness to consume her, where we confront her once more in her dragon form. Then we make our way finally to Riku, who isn't Riku anymore. He's Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. And Ansem fights us, and we end up prevailing, and he disappears. But there's still the problem of trying to seal the keyhole of Hollow Bastion, but we can't, as the keyhole in Hollow Bastion can only be revealed with the 7 princesses of heart all being in attendance. But the last princess, Kairi, still sleeps. Without her heart, she can't wake up. But Riku illuminated, or Ansem illuminated, that Kairi's heart had been within Sora this whole time. We had managed to be its safe harbor since the destruction of Destiny Islands. And with the defeat of Ansem, his Keyblade left on the floor, a Keyblade that can release hearts, Sora uses that Keyblade to release Kairi's heart, but in the process releases his own and turns himself into a Heartless. And then as Ansem comes back and tries to take out Goofy, Donald, and Kairi, as their purpose has been served, Riku ends up prevailing in a battle of wills for a time to protect them. And Sora, now a Heartless, makes his way to where Goofy, Donald, and Kairi are attempting to escape. Kairi recognizes him, and through her ability as a Princess of Heart, manages to bring him back from the darkness. And then we fled to Traverse Town. Once there, we got our new fancy Keyblade that we were still using, but we got a new path to Hollow Bastion, and have found that Heartless everywhere have grown stronger. And we make our way back to Hollow Bastion to find out that the keyhole that was completed poured with darkness coming out, and Ansem was consumed by it. But while being consumed, he was just smiling. He'd found the darkness that he sought. We go into the keyhole and defeat the Heartless guarding it, and seal it away. All the darkness back. And the original residents of Hollow Bastion return to their home. Leon, Sid, Yuffie, Aerith. They all made their way back to their childhood home and give us a final send-off. And we make our way to a final world with darkness at its core. This end of the world, where we battle our way through many Heartless to here, this final door. What's wrong? Don't you hear something? There. Careful. This is the last haven you'll find here. Beyond, there is no light to protect you. But don't be afraid. Your heart is the mightiest weapon of all. Remember, you are the one who will open the door to light. I don't hear anything. Strange. That voice was so familiar. Maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe you better take a rest. So this is the game telling us that we've hit the end of the road. And we're not going to proceed through that right now, but we will. And before too much longer, we'll be battling our way through the last darkness. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Hope you guys have enjoyed.